Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you some tips on how to manage a steady QA process. QA, as you know, is almost the most important thing just after the development because as much as we like to believe that our developers are doing a fantastic job and error-free work, that's not quite the case. And if you don't have a QA person inside of your agency, you really need to think about that because it's not really a great idea to expect the developer to QA their own work. You want to make sure that you have a third person to do this and really be tough and really try to look for the issues. So I'm going to show you today on how we do our process inside of the agency and some tips for you. If you stick around till the very end, I'll even share with you a checklist. So first of all, you want to have good documentation. That means having clear expectations and instructions on how the QA should be done. If you hire someone, you may explain it to them a few times. Make sure that you grab that video as you're explaining it so they can go back and rewatch it, and it can also be used for future people that will come in and join. But also make sure that you have it written out with graphics, with examples so that they know the different scenarios that may happen. Here we also share with them a workflow. For example, we use Monday.com so that they know which status they need to put different things into. And I'm going to show you an example of how we've automated this process. So for example, let's say our developer is working on the blog page, right? They're working on it. Once they finish or they claim that it's done, they move it into QA. In Monday, you can set up different triggers, and this exists inside of ClickUp as well. If the tool that you're using doesn't have this set up, you can also do it inside of Zapier, set up different automations. And here we can see it's been assigned to the QA tester on this project. It creates a subtask that says QA testing round, and she must go through and test everything. We want to test on physical devices, such as tablets, desktop, and mobile phones. But we also use a simulator tool called BrowserStack that allows you to test on any device and any browser combination. This is great for if a client has a certain issue with their particular phone, for example, or if we have certain browser issues. So an example of how this is when it's done is right here. You can see in the home page, they've gone through and found a whole bunch of issues, small issues, but still. And you can see here, we also have a certain way that we want them to report it. So for example, they point out the issue here and how the mockup is and how it should look like, so that the developer knows. Once the developer has fixed it, if we look at another example here, once the developer has fixed it, they should move it into QA again, and then they should mark it as well, right? So here they have some back and forth conversation about how it can be done. And finally, the QA person says, okay, now the call to action is visible, approved. And then eventually, once all of the tasks are done, then the main one gets approved as well. So very important to do this. I'm going to share with you, if you click on the link in the description of this video, I'm going to share with you guys a launch checklist, which is the most important one when doing QA. You want to make sure that you have your QA testers checking everything to make sure that the launch of the site or of the shop is running correctly.